Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another top 5. Because it's Halloween season at the moment, these are my top 5 horror games for the Oculus Quest platform. Now all of these games are going to work with the Oculus Quest 2 and Oculus Quest 1, so it doesn't matter which one you've got, these games are going to work for you all. I've also tried to select a range of games here, from cheap to expensive, from new to old, from jump scares to psychological horrors, so there should be at least one game in here for you to get your teeth into. So if you've got your cushion to hide behind and a flashlight to light your way, let's get into it. Now before we go any further, if you do enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and share it. And if you're not subscribed yet, then hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bell so you're notified about new videos as and when I post them. It really helps me build this channel up so I can continue making videos for you. Thanks! So as I've said, this is my top 5 horror games for the Oculus Quest platform, and I'm picking games here that are native to the Quest platform. So they're completely untethered and you can play them wherever you like. And as I've said, there's a range of games here for you to get your teeth into. You have to let me know in the comments down below if you do try any of these and what you think of them. Also, if there's any I've left off this top 5 that you really think should have been here, again let me know in the comments down below as to why you think they should have been in the top 5. Let's get into the games.
Number 5.
Blair Witch Oculus Quest Edition is a story-driven psychological horror game based on the cinematic lore of Blair Witch. You play Ellis, a former police officer, as you join in the search for a missing boy in the iconic Black Hills forest. As you are taken deeper into the woods, you will encounter the Blair Witch and all the ominous undertakings that entails. Fortunately, you're not doing this alone. Your trusty dog Bullet is by your side, who you can use as your eyes, ears and nose as you march further into the treacherous woods. This game is a port of the original 2019 survival horror game and has been rebuilt for the Oculus Quest platform to offer a more immersive VR experience. With environments redesigned for more interactivity and new bullet mechanics such as gesture commands, hand-based petting and fetching, and additional creature encounters, you will experience the eerie atmosphere of the Black Hills forest like never before. This makes my top 5 purely because I love the film, and I'm talking about the original here. And if this game is done well, it could well be the scariest game of the year. I'm expecting psychological horror that messes with your head rather than cheap jump scares. Be sure to keep an eye out for it when it is released on the 29th of October, or go check it out now if you're watching this after that date.
Number 4.
Lies Beneath is a single-player survival horror game where you play May, who must fight monsters and solve puzzles to save her father from the horrors infecting her hometown of Slumber, Alaska. At its core, Lies Beneath is a shooter, in the ilk of Resident Evil and similar horror survival games. Certainly some of the enemies that you face remind me of those twisted horror creations from early Resident Evil games. The cel-shaded style of the game makes you feel as though you are stepping into a graphic novel. Combine this with the eerie audio and you have a game that is incredibly stylized and immersive. It really does feel like a living comic book. It's a great achievement from the developers to have been able to do this on the Quest platform. You feel sucked into this creepy, otherworldly experience where anything can be lurking around the next corner, and usually is. The pace of the game is unrelenting, except for the various safe spots that are throughout the game where you can get to restock on weaponry and heal wounds. This stop-start mentality does break the flow of the game a bit, but I was certainly grateful for the breather, if for nothing else than just to get my heart rate down. It is a dark and twisted journey where Frank Miller meets Hellboy, providing a stylized gothic comic experience and one that you should certainly check out.
Number 3.
Talking of jump scares, Five Nights at Freddy's finally made its arrival on the Quest platform early this year, with the release of Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. Five Nights at Freddy's sees you take on the role of a night shift caretaker at a pizzeria, which features stuffed animatronic characters. However, once the lights go out, those robotic characters come to life, moving around the restaurant, trying to kill you in the process. Your goal is to survive, as you might have guessed already, 5 nights. Using security cameras, door control switches and other gadgets at your disposal, you've got to keep them at bay without leaving your desk. With a limited amount of power at your disposal, it's primarily a game of resource management as you try to optimize your use of power by activating the various doors and lights only when you really have to. It's this living on the edge of your seat mentality to the game that keeps you in a state of constant anxiety as you keep looking here, there and everywhere for where they might come at you from. No matter how well you think you're playing the game, nothing prepares you for the first time you get caught. I guarantee you'll jump. The point and click mechanics of the game is perfectly suited to the VR format, where you fiddle with knobs and buttons with your actual hands. This all goes to creating a far more immersive experience of the game in VR and makes the jump scares even more terrifying. Whilst the repetitive nature of some of the mini games might get tiresome, the main game is engrossing enough to ensure that you'll be coming back for more to see if you can still survive Five Nights at Freddy's. With a clean pair of shorts required for this one, it's definitely one for the shortlist.
Number 2.
Dread Halls was one of the first horror games released for the Oculus Quest and is constantly on the list of "too scared I didn't finish it" list for many people. You start off trapped in the depths of an underground dungeon, armed only with a lantern to light your way. You then proceed forward as you try and escape the maze of underground passages. That's it. Easy, eh? Not quite. Somewhere ahead of you, and they're never in the same place twice, lurking in the shadows are a myriad of nightmarish creatures, from goblins to hellhounds, all hell-bent to ensure that you don't make it out alive. Coming across any of these in the dark can be utterly terrifying, with little choice but to run and hide, and that's often what you find yourself doing. Yes, the graphics aren't the best and are quite simplistic in their rendering, but the claustrophobic nature of the dungeon, the monsters that lie in wait, combined with the ominous audio that is constantly unnerving, creates an experience that is probably one of the most immersive, heart-pounding experience you will witness to date on the Quest. At only $10, you'd be crazy not to give it a go, but finish this if you dare.
Number 1.
The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners' arrival on the Quest platform was a title eagerly anticipated by many, having previously been released on the Steam and PSVR platforms earlier in the year. There are some graphical differences between the Quest 1 and Quest 2 versions of the game. Both play exactly the same, but you will notice more detail in your surroundings with the Quest 2, as the developers have been able to make better use of the processor on the Quest 2. The fact that Skydance Interactive have been able to squeeze this onto the Quest platform at all is an achievement in itself and should be applauded. The fact that they've done this as well as they have deserves a standing ovation. The attention to detail in this game is impressive. Everything has been designed to pull you into the game and give you that immersive VR experience that you deserve in the world of The Walking Dead. The combat physics are awesome. Firing your guns and taking down zombies is fun and all, but the real fun starts when you start taking down zombies with melee weapons such as knives and axes. There is a physical weight to these weapons, and you actually have to use them with some force in order to be able to stab a zombie in the head, otherwise your blade just bounces off their skull. Having to then pull the blade out before taking on the next zombie, with all the sound effects that provides, never gets old. Meanwhile, these weapons actually degrade over time the more you use them, so you're always on the hunt for new weaponry. It's this combination of physical gameplay and real-life limited resources that all adds to the atmosphere and engrossing gameplay of this game. It's an expensive game at $40, but it's also one of the most polished and biggest games on the Quest. Saints and Sinners delivers a truly immersive and atmospheric game where zombie killing is literally hands-on. If you're into zombie survival horror, you are going to love this game. And that's my top 5 horror games for the Oculus Quest platform. I do hope you found at least one game in there that you're going to go and try. If you do, let me know in the comments down below how you get on with them. If there was a game that you think should have been in the top 5 that wasn't, also let me know in the comments down below why you think it should have been in the top 5. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and share it. If you're still here but not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. And as always, see you in the next one.